Hi guys, this is Ginjo from Londonsaurus, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 strongest sternritters in Bleach 1000-Year Blood War. We are going to be covering exclusively the 1000-Year Blood War. We are going to be talking about the sternritters, their abilities, and why we have ranked them in the top 10 strongest. As you are well aware, the sternritters, there are a lot of sternritters covering all the alphabets, but we are just going to talk about the top 10 strongest, especially with Bleach 1000-Year Blood War coming back, the part 2 coming back in less than 3 months. So yeah, here we go. We are going to go from number 10, which is the weakest, to number 1 with that drum roll for yourself. Please like and subscribe, it'll really help with bringing out more content from yourself. At number 10, we start with one of our very featured characters and one of our bubbly personalities. It's Bambietta Bastarbine. Yeah, we see this character, very interesting character. We see a lot of it. She gets a lot of screen time. It's a she, yeah. She gets a lot of screen time. She is part of the sternritters too as well. She has the script. She was given the script E for the explode. Her abilities is basically she can be able to throw reishi balls and it could be able to become a massive explosion. We've seen a lot of this character. She's got a very bubbly personality. She fits in very perfectly into the sternritters. How ruthless she is, but she is a very ruthless killer. We see her abilities mostly pronounced in her fight with Kamamura, and she gets the ability to steal Kamamura's bankai. Thus we see her cutting through Soul Reapers ruthlessly. Killing people is not a problem for her, and she wears that Nazi form of the Quincy's very well. As we see her capture Kokujo Tengenmyu from Kamamura in a brutal battle between the both of them. Don't get to see her use Kokujo Tengenmyu yet, but I'm sure we are going to get. But she does steal his bankai. He has got that Quincy sternritter attitude, whereby we see when she joins the fight, first thing she does is call Captain Kamamura. Why is it that the Soul Society is using a dog as one of the captains, allowing a dog to fight as such as the captains? She was calling him puppy too as well. We get a bit of a backstory too as well regarding her. We are very aware that Bambietta is not one of those sternritters that just follows orders. I remember when Yoha gave Shrift the antithesis to Uryu and made him his successor. We can see that she's one of those sternritters that really isn't happy with what's going on. She's got her own personality. Obviously that's why we've seen her been given a lot of. We also see her not being afraid to flaunt her power. We see her in the manga seduce certain soldiers that are meant to like a normal Quincy kind of soldiers, you know, in the Vandenreich kind of patrolling her quarters, seducing them, just sleeping with them and doing whatever she wants. There's got a pack of girls that she stays with. Normally she hangs out with. They're called the Bambis. But yeah, we see Bambi's first fight with captains. It was Kamamura and Shinji Hirako. Shinji fights with her using his Sakanade. Bambi extremely obliterated him. She went into her Volstandig form, and he uses his Sakanade. She told him, as long as, you know, it doesn't matter what your senses are, how your senses are, as long as you explode anything in that radius, that would be all. That's all you need to do, which is a massive weakness for Sakanade too as well. She activates her Volstandig, which looks absolutely amazing, with the wings. At the bottom of the wings it's a bit jagged because obviously that's where her Reishi comes out and forms Reishi Blast too as well. Very strong character. After that we see her go toe-to-toe with Kamamura too as well. That's when she steals his bankai, obliterates him in the fight, which was very disappointing for the captains. So even for her, she's on to captain's level, so she's very strong. She gets a lot of airtime too as well. We see another fight of hers when obviously Kamamura, you know, turns into a human, goes to his transformation, comes to take his bankai again, rename it Kokujo Tengenmyu Dangaijo, and he completely obliterates her, to the point of death. She's almost at death doors, and we see Giselle there. You know, also that's where you see the ruthlessness of the sternritters too as well. Giselle turning her into that zombie too as well, finishing her off, killing her too as well. Quite a sad ending to a very bubbly character too as well. We quickly go to our number 9. At number 9 we have Gremmy, which has the shrift V for the Visionary. Gremmy has the most broken Sternritter abilities till date. He is called the Visionary. Gremmy has the ability to be able to manifest anything at the limits of his imagination. He has incredibly broken ability. It's just incomprehensible what Gremmy can do. Obviously, we had to put him at number 9 because there's a lot of Sternritters to go through, but I would explain obviously the reason why he's at number 9. We see Gremmy fight Kimpachi Zaraki, we see him fight most of the Soul Reapers too as well. We get a taste of his ability. Gremmy has the ability to be able to create life out of nothing. He can literally create life. At the level of his imagination, nothing is impossible. He can turn fantasy into reality. We see an example of this when Gremmy fights, obviously, Kimpachi too as well. Gremmy completely can completely bring a meteoroid from space. Imagine another being on its own, and also imagine another version of himself, just to be able to increase the limits of his ability, to be able to set the standard of his imagination at a wider spectrum too as well. And he's literally the most chilled character. Fantastic character design. He's a bit of an oddball from the rest of the Quincy's. You can see from his hoodie, you can see that he's quite a secluded character. He has the body of a child, really, that wants to be left alone, but he's equally as ruthless as all the Sternritters there for yourself, and rightfully so. He doesn't need to pair with anyone because of how broken his ability is. The only reason why we're putting Gremmy at number 9 is because his only undoing and his only weakness is if he thinks that he starts imagining his death, and also imagines a way to kill himself, or imagines a way that he himself will die. But we see countless showcase of his ability, of his imagination, whereby against Kimpachi, he again, brought a massive meteoroid, whereby we saw Kimpachi go into bankai. Kimpachi had to completely go into bankai as a savage to be able to slice that meteor in half too as well. We see Gremmy imagine an arsenal of weapons completely from nowhere, from thin air, to be able to help him fight Kimpachi too as well. Gremmy can also envision lava itself, water to the battlefield, even the vacuum of space into the battlefield if Gremmy so pleases too as well. As we can see him completely imagine twisting Kimpachi's arm to shreds, and it completely happened too as well. As I said, his drawback is his imagination, and that was what killed him. He imagined him being as strong as Kimpachi, and that overwhelmed him from the inside, because obviously he couldn't handle that power with that small body there. But very, very interesting character, very ruthless, very well placed at number 9 there for yourself. We'll quickly go to our number 8. At number 8, this was a character that's well placed, and one of our most loved characters, most beloved Sternritters, and the Sternritter with one of the best designs ever. It's our favorite Baz B. He was one of the characters that we had a very, very, just like Bambi, very, very long backstory, very bubbly personality too as well. He's always showing himself. He's got a very, very good standing at whole with the whole Sternritters. His shrift is the letter H for the heat, with his burner fingers. He's got an incredible design, incredibly bubbly personality, massive mohawk, very good looking, very, very confident and cocky in his abilities. He points his fingers in regarding, he controls literally heat, fire, flame. We see him use different abilities, using his fingertips as a gun, shoot fireballs out of it too as well, with precision, deadly accuracy. He's also as ruthless as the rest of them, but he's a bit of a Grinjar kind of character. He doesn't follow orders that easily too as well, and he's not one of those Sternritters too as well that also always goes with whatever Yoha says. He's always wanting to rebel. You can see him even from the beginning, from his backstory too as well. He's a very interesting character because there's a bit of a backstory to him. Him and Hashwald grew up together. They were best mates too as well. That's what makes him very, very strong. They trained together, so they've been together from the beginning in regarding being part of the Vanden Reich too as well, and before becoming a Sternritter. So very, very good design. We see him fight so many characters. We see him completely evaporate Hitsugai's bankai ice with just a single touch too as well. Basby has the ability to control his flames, to be able to manipulate flames in every single form. The only mistake he ever did was try to attack Yamamoto. He got off very, very likely because most of the sternritters. The only reason why Basby was able to survive is because he also controls heat, and he is more durable to heat too as well. Basby has a few abilities in his burner fingers. The first one is the burner finger one, which shoots when he points the one like a gun. It shoots a kind of a beam fire that can be able to attack with deadly precision. We've got burner finger 2, which has it's like 2 beams of fire which he can be able to use to slash an opponent. We see what he does. He uses it against Hitsugaya 2 as well. Burner finger 3 can everything into a sword. All his flames gets condensed into a flame sword, which has the power of obliterating anything at its radius there for yourself. But yeah, Basby is very, very well placed at number 8 there for yourself. Very, very interesting character, extremely funky design. Even his uniform, Sternritter uniform, is done very, very differently. You know, his hairstyle, everything, the color of his hair. Very, very cool character design too as well. We quickly go to our number 7. At our number 7, we will have to go with Robert Aquitron. One of very, very good character design, one of very, very unique character designs too as well. As a Quincy, Robert Aquitron has the shrift of the letter N, and that N, we haven't been told what the shrift means yet, but everyone, I have my theories that the shrift letter N means the navigation. Obviously, we see how incredibly quick he is in regarding going through everyone's blind spot. Robert Aquitron faces Kyoraku, which is one of the head captain of the Soul Society after Yamamoto died. An incredibly strong character. For someone to be able to have the deadly accuracy to be able to go to Kyoraku's blind spot and take that deadly shot and be able to land that fatal blow in Kyoraku's eye is not a likely opponent. We also see him teleport and also go into Ichigo's blind spot, pointing a pistol at Ichigo's head with deadly precision. Yes, Robert Aquitron is an older gentleman looking like a normal office worker in Japan, you know, very, very calm-headed, but in a very Quincy. You can tell that he has lived the Sternritter's code. He's been there for a very, very long time. He's very experienced too as well. He's very well trusted too as well. And he's very, very confident enough to know that Kyoraku is head captain of the 13 Court Guard squad and confronts him head on too as well. He uses a double-wielding pistol just like a normal, like what cowboys there for yourself. His pistols have deadly accuracy too as well. We also get to see his Volstand dig, which is absolutely amazing. It's not too flashy, but it gives him obviously power up with the Volstand digs too as well. Gives him deadly speed, deadly accuracy, deadly strength too as well. But yeah, he is the reason why Kyoraku had that one eye too as well. Very amazing character, very good character design. Kubo knew what he was doing, why he drew him. Very, very underestimated at first glance, but very, very strong character too as well, and well placed at number 7 too as well for yourselves. And after number 7, we quickly go to our number 6. At number 6, we will have to put Uryu Ishida. Yeah, Uryu Ishida. Uryu Ishida is number 6 because after he became a Sternritter, he was giving the shrift by His Majesty Yoha for the letter A, the antithesis. Normally, Uryu would be a bit higher, but obviously because he's not really learned to use his antithesis ability very well. The only reason why Yoha Bak put him there is because he was meant to be his successor. But we see a display of Uryu's ability. Uryu has had a massive power up completely. I mean, this is not the Uryu that was in Bleach all through, that we always know and we always like too, right? In Bleach, that was using this Hirangyaku and all these old Quincy abilities that was passed down in his Gemish bloodline of the Ishidas before with his great-grandfather Soken Ishida. Uryu has had a massive upgrade and a massive power-ups too as well. Obviously accepting the blood of Yoha, you know, getting that shrift too as well as the successor of the Quincy King too as well. The Anthesis is one of the most broken abilities too as well in Bleach, hands down. I think Yoha Batch just gave him that ability because he just needed someone to be able to challenge him too as well. The Anthesis ability is literally the only way I can be able to explain Uryu's ability in a simple way is that Uryu has the ability to choose two targets, both him and someone else, and be able to, because the power of the anthesis, he can be able to negate any ability, any kind of damage he gets from one person to another. So as long as you're trying to kill Uryu, literally nothing would work. We see a display of this with his only fight with Hashwold. Hashwold being one of the strongest sternritters at all. For Uryu to even be capable of using his shrift and his ability to even damage Hashwold is quite impressive, because as we are aware, Hashwold is a judge, jury and an executioner of all the sternritters. Everyone listens. He's the one that lays down the law too as well. But we see his ability in full effect when he fights obviously Hashwold, whereby Hashwold beats him to a pulp at the verge of defeating him, at the verge of death. When Uryu activates his anthesis ability, he completely negates and returns every damage he suffers directly to Hashwold. And Uryu becomes cleansed because of his shrift, and the damage completely goes back to Hashwold. Hashwold has never been damaged by any other sternritter apart from Uryu. Uryu is the only one capable of even hurting him or coming close to hurting him too as well. So yeah, very, very broken ability. Uryu is the only person that can be able to do that too as well. He can even do that on His Majesty, as Hashwold predicted too as well. And Hashwold said, now I understand why His Majesty gave you this ability too as well. It would make you hard to kill, but not impossible too as well. But yeah, we quickly go to our number 5. Our number 5 is one of our fan favorites too as well. Very, very interesting character, like one of the most loved character design too as well. That's one of the most elusive characters too as well. At number 5 is Askin Naklavar. A very, very cool name too as well. Askin Naklavar is one of those sternritters that doesn't seem very, very strong. He's not only a sternritter, but he's part of Yohabark's special forces that guard him personally. He's one of them too as well. He's been promoted more than that too as well, to be part of the forces that would protect Yoha in invading the Soul Palace too as well. So he's on a completely different level. Askin here too as well. Askin has the shrift that was given to him of the death dealing. Askin literally has the ability to be able to make anything poisonous. He can be able to negate, control any kind of poisonous substance or any kind of substance. He can be able to, even his blood, Askin can be able to turn it into poison. We see an example of this in his fight with Yushiro Shihoin, whereby he took a massive direct hit by Yushiro Shihoin's attack, and also he can even make the dosage of any attack, such as the attack of Yushiro Shihoin, become less dosage or less potent, to be able to be healed and cleansed from that, because he can be able to reduce the amount of damage and the dosage of the power the Yushiro can be put towards that punch. So that means he can be able to break down an ability and the power and the damage that somebody feeds to him, and be able to heal himself immediately too as well. And he can be able to do that with the same too as well. For an example of this is when he drank his own blood too as well, when he was able to lower the amount of blood in his opponent's body and be able to make it lethal to his opponent too as well. We also see him go toe-to-toe against one of the most strongest and smartest characters in Bleach, hands down, Kisuke Urahara, and almost getting the better of him. So Askin is well placed at number 5 there for yourself too as well. And also he has the most unique design for Volstendig, hands down. His Volstendig is so cool, to the point that it's a completely design from all the other Volstendigs too as well. But yeah, Askin is placed very, very perfectly at number 5 there for yourself. Quickly, we will move to our number 4. At number 4, we have Pernida Punkajaz. This Sternritter here, at first, as we thought he was a Sternritter, had a very, very unique character design, very, very shrouded in mystery too as well, because always wearing a hood. All we can see is 2 dots of eyes there gleaming at us. We get to see the big reveal and understand that his shrift is for the letter C, the compulsory. And also we get a bit of the backstory. Even before he was given a shrift to his what by Yhwach, he had his own abilities. Paranida Pankajas is literally the hand of the Soul King. Literally. Yes, the left hand of the Soul King himself. Obviously, after the Soul King was dismembered and enshrined to as well in the Soul Palace, obviously his right hand was enshrined in the Soul Society. His left hand followed instinctively the Quincy's, because now we understand that the Quincy's are his biological, the sternritters. Yhwach is a descendant of the Soul King. He is the son of the Soul King, so it will make sense for Paranida to follow him, and he is part of the Quincy's too as well. We see his ability very, one of the most strongest ability of his shrift too as well, the compulsory. Paranida Pankajas can be able to control with his compulsory nerves that come out of his hands, can be able to control any kind of object, inanimate or physical or flesh object from his nerves too as well, and also be able to burst them into bits too as well by using his nerves. We see him fighting against the mad scientist himself, Mayuri Kuratsuchi, whereby Mayuri completely tries to analyze what monstrosity that is Paranida Pankajas too as well, and we get to see the reveal too as well. We get to see him from becoming mindless hand to be able to having sentience. We also even get to see him activate a Volstand dig too as well. So it has its own brain, has its own control, even as the hand of the Soul King. Very weird character, very weird ability too as well, but he is up there, very strong too as well. He's one of the elite special forces of Yhwach too as well. He's right there. It took a lot from Mayuri too as well to defeat him. It wasn't easy. We saw him how difficult. In fact, Nemu had to become a casualty before Mayuri was able to figure out how to deal with Paranida's ability too as well. He can be able to completely reattach limbs, fingers in his arm too as well, and control them too as well. He can control bodies, he can control limbs of anything else. I'm going to have a heavy guess. Apart from Mayuri and Kisuke Urahara, there would be nobody that can be able to defeat Paranida too as well. Very strong Sternritter, well placed at number 4 there for yourself. At number 3, we quickly go to Gerard Valkyrie. Yes, Gerard Valkyrie. Gerard Valkyrie has the shrift, the miracle himself. He is literally God's miracle. Gerard Valkyrie is also like Paranida Pankajas too as well. After the Soul King was enshrined, pieces of his body was taken out too as well, and one of the pieces of his body is his heart. Gerard Valkyrie is the heart of the Soul King. He is an unkillable Viking, god-looking monster. He is literally unkillable too as well. And I would have placed him at higher, but I would have to place him because there's so many Sternritters that I think should be placed a bit higher than him. But we see Gerard Valkyrie completely go against the whole Gote 13 with their power-ups too, trying to kill him. There is nothing that they haven't thrown at this guy. They were able to slice him in half. All he does is smile. Everything that they do, he can be able to negate. They cut his arm off. Kinpachi came, cut his arm off completely. He got a brand new arm, better looking, stronger, with shields at the knuckles too as well. Also, everything they do to him is completely futile and pointless. We get to see Byakuya Kuchiki invade his head, and with Simbun Zakura too as well, to be able to kill him internally. What do we see from Gerard Valkyrie? We get to see him increase in size, becoming this behemoth Viking god too as well, to be able to counter that too as well. The miracle that he possesses as Shrift doesn't only stand by the miracles he can be able to do. Gerard Valkyrie can also manifest the hopes and dreams of his allies too as well, and also the hopes of his enemies too as well. So can also manifest the fears of his, also the hopes of his allies too as well. Can be able to be manifested in forms of his sword, the great blade Hoffman. Hoffman's ability too as well as a blade. Any kind of crack that appears on that blade, or he strikes someone, someone damages the blade, it gets sent back immediately to the enemy too as well. So complete epic character, very, very justified to be at number 3 too as well. It took multiple attempts and half of the Serite being destroyed, with most of the 13 court guard squad hammering at him before they could be able to defeat him. As I said, he is literally God's miracle and the heart of the Soul King too as well. So very, very justified to be at number 3 for yourself too as well. At number 2, we are going to go with one of my favorite character design too as well in Bleach, hands down, and also favorite Sternritter is Lily Barrow, one of Yoha's special forces too as well. Very, very quiet character, very, very good character design too as well. Has a massive tattoo. You can be able to tell by his tattoo in his eyes that he's a sniper. He carries a massive gun. He has kind of a Russian cold hat that he wears with fur too as well. Very, very elusive. He doesn't say that much, but we tend to find out his ability. His ability, we can tell he has the shrift of the X-axis. We get to see him with most of Zero Division members too as well, obliterate most of them. That's how strong he is. I would say he is one of the strongest. In fact, apart from Hashwald, I would say Lily Barrow is one of the strongest Sternritters, hands down. He is on god level abilities. He even refers to himself as a god, and he is one of the first Sternritters that ever got a shrift from Yoha himself too as well. This guy's so OP that he has 3 release forms too as well, his Volstan Dig too as well. He completely changes form. He's completely beyond a human form or anything. He is completely divine in most of his. He has the ability to be able to destroy anything that comes across his sniper in the X-axis that he uses with his gun. There is nothing that's beyond. We see him completely obliterate Nimaya Otetsu and also some members of the Zero Division too as well. And also, if he opens his second eye, then we see his holy form, whereby he becomes this complete thing that looks like a butterfly, complete 360 regarding his design, what he looks. The only thing that remains is his head, to where he can be able to fire multiple shots of that X-axis of his multiple ways, as he completely obliterated Kyoraku too as well. But he does have, his ability does have a bit of drawbacks too as well. If you do break that halo of his Volstan Dig, he loses his divine power. Also, not that he gets killed, because he cannot get killed. He becomes some kind of weird ostrich duck looking creature, which is very, very creepy and very, very, I absolutely love the design of what Kubo did to his story, how he died and what he became too as well, and which is very, very, even when he gets obliterated, he takes that form which can still fight too as well. But we also get to see, obviously, Kyoraku, finally see Kyoraku's bankai, which is completely OP, that gets to kind of take him down. But very, very good character, extremely OP, well placed at number 2 there for yourself. And also, we quickly go to our number 1. Also, guys, please like and subscribe. Another worthy mention for Sternritters too as well is Kilge Ope. Before I go to number 1, Kilge Ope is one of the first Sternritters we've seen. Very, very interesting ability too as well. We weren't able to place him at the top 10 too as well, but yeah, very perfect design, perfect dialogue, everything too as well. But yeah, we quickly go to our number 1. At number 1 too as well. Before we go to our number 1, drum roll too as well. And also, once again, please like and subscribe. It would really help with the channel too as well. At number 1, we've got none other than the Sternritter Hashwald with the shrift that was given to him, B, the balance. Hashwald is also one of my favorite characters in Bleach, hands down. Character design, charisma, charm, good looking. He is literally Kubo's perfect design for a shonen character too as well. He doesn't say that much. You can tell that he's the second in command of Yoha, but he is very, very committed to a T. He doesn't argue. He's very, very faithful, and has the most broken ability too as well, the balance. And also, he's one of the only characters that also can be able to be a stand-in for Yoha when Yoha is not around. What that means is he can also use Yoha's most broken ability. So when Yoha takes his sleep, when he goes into his sleep, Yoha's most broken ability is the Almighty, whereby Yoha can see every kind of dimensions of what's going on. It's just a broken ability for gods, literally. The Almighty is his ability that he can be able to see whatever future, how many futures, everything. So with that ability, there's nothing that you can do. Yoha is completely impossible. It's broken to the point that it's impossible to kill. When he goes to sleep, Hashwald's responsibilities, Hashwald can be able to use Yoha's ability of the Almighty too as well. That in on itself is completely broken. Apart from his Shrift for the balance, he can also use the Almighty too as well when Yoha is sleeping too as well. And he's one of those characters that you know he can never ever betray Yoha too as well. So well placed, very impressive character design. You know, he has a massive shield too as well that he carries around. He's got a fur kind of like underlining on his coat too as well. Very kind of Nazi uniform, Quincy uniform too as well. Very neat every time. Long hair too as well. Very quiet. Doesn't say that much unless he needs to too as well. But yeah, his ability is the balance. He can, to explain it slightly and simply, he can be able to balance, take away fortune and misfortunes. That is why he is the judge, jury and execution of all the sternritters. If someone is having a better kind of advantage to another one, Hashwald can be able to take that balance away and balance the scale so everyone can be able to have a fair chance to as well. This is shown to us in when he wanted to pass judgments on Kandu, when Kandu disobeyed orders or lost in a fight. And Kandu had a string of good fortune whereby he defeated Hitsugaya, and also he tried to slice him, but it didn't happen. Hashwald was able to use his ability of the balance to be able to take that good fortune away from Kandu and be able to cut him right through there with that ability. It's very vague, you can be open to interpretation, but it allows him to do sick shit. So that's the bottom line of it. And yeah, Hashwald also has an epic shield. His shield's name is called Front Shield. Front Shield is literally an accessory kind of shield that Hashwald carries, but apart from being extremely cool, Front Shield is able to collect any kind of misfortune that Hashwald or any kind of bad attacks that Hashwald faces, stores it so Hashwald can be able to redistribute it when he chooses to. It actually collects misfortune too as well. This character is extremely cool, extremely OP too as well, well placed at number 1. He's the strongest sternritter too as well, and he's well placed to be the top, our number 1 sternritter too as well. But yeah, this is our top 10 there for yourself. Please leave your comments below in regarding who you think should be number 1 to number 10, how we've placed it too as well.